that thing huge. Look at that big old watch right. Boy, what is that on your wrist, player? Look at how big. Oh Lord, yes, it's big. YouTube, in today's video, I'm going to be updating you guys on the Galaxy Watch Ultra. Although my experience so far has been good, there are a few unexpected truths about the Galaxy Watch Ultra that I think prospective buyers and typical Galaxy Watch users need to know about. So, number one, the Galaxy Watch Ultra isn't as ultra as we thought it would have been. Yes, the battery's bigger. Yes, it's built for rugged users, and it is a competitor to the Apple Watch Ultra. But Samsung's signature is the rotating bezel. That's one of the separating factors that separates the Galaxy Watch, in my opinion, from any other smartwatch on the market. And the fact that there's no rotating bezel is a major miss on Samsung's behalf. And also, having a rotating bezel would have actually helped justify this design. And speaking on the design, I actually didn't expect to like it as much as I do. I mean, I did have to add this aftermarket band. Oh, you guys haven't seen this one yet, but this is a new, Milanese style band. Link down in the description. I also had a more traditional stainless steel band, and I love this band a lot more because it's a lot lighter. Again, that's going to lead into my next point, or a future point, that we're going to talk about with the unexpectedness of this Galaxy Watch Ultra. But the design, for me, it just has a little bit more color, as I stated before, than I would have liked. I just need an all titanium build, and that would have made it have a more traditional and mature look, as well as it being that fitness hitter that it is anticipated to be. And I gotta be honest, I do not love all of it. The missing rotating bezel, the non-rotating action button, another missed opportunity, the excessive use of color, like I just stated, and the excessive squareness. Now, in all fairness, in true reality, let me show you something. The design of this watch is nothing more than a Galaxy Watch 6 Classic expanded by the square edges. And that's obviously probably what was needed in order to increase the battery size. And then there's the reality that this resembles an older Samsung Galaxy Watch design that I guess they revisited that as well. But as knowing Samsung and appreciating them for their round bezel and their round watches, it kind of sucks that this was, I guess, their only thought or option in order to increase battery size. I mean, I would have took a 47, maybe even a 49 millimeter round device, possibly. I don't know. These are just thoughts, and these are just where I sit personally. I don't know where you sit. Let me know what you guys think as far as the design and what they could have maybe done instead of this one. This is just brainstorming. This is just throwing things out there. You never know. Something might stick. Now, not only did I find an aftermarket band to help me, embrace this design, but also picked one of the Galaxy Watch faces that I could be okay with. And that leads me to another unexpected point, is not being able to use my aftermarket custom watch faces as I normally do every year. Now, some viewers are telling me in the comment section that Samsung blocked the Watchmaker app, and I hope that's not true, because if it is, that's extremely disappointing, because that goes against what Android stands for, which is freedom, right? So hopefully that corrects itself in a future update, or they start talking to one another, because that's a lot of free, nice custom watch faces that you have access to, as opposed to, being forced to only have access to these Galaxy ones. Although I do like this watch face, I love the information I get out of it. It's very resemblant to a watch face that I use on my Apple Watch Ultra, and I'm okay with that because it helps the transition, and I think that's a part of the, the point. Now, another unexpected truth with this Galaxy Watch Ultra, and this is a super positive, is the unexpected standby battery time. Now, this standby battery time is optimized to a point that I didn't expect. It's really good. So light users, you guys are in for an extreme battery treat. And even semi-heavy users, you guys are in for a battery treat. Heavy users, you guys are always on the far end of the spectrum when it comes to battery life, no matter what device or what battery is in anything. But me personally, I can get about 3 days of usage on this smartwatch with light activity and a nice amount of standby. What's standby, CJ? When you're not using or looking at your watch, if you happen to take it off to do something, maybe while you're sleeping at night, you don't want to wear this, because you guys know I don't wear big watches to sleep. I'm going to do more of a smart ring if I'm going to need sleep tracking as opposed to a massive watch, especially the biggest watch of them all. No. But standby is extremely important because that's when your device is on standby. And if it's running down battery in that instance, that's a bad sign. So the fact that this thing is optimized to reduce its battery drain during standby so well is a great positive for this watch and for battery life. Now, it's no secret, it's obvious, especially if you look. I have a smaller, approximate 6-inch wrist for those who may be, shopping this watch and want to know. But this is a hefty watch. If you're not used to larger watches or big, weighted watches, this may not be the watch for you, as its presence is always known when it's on your wrist. It's no different than with the Apple Watch Ultra, except for the reality is that this watch, in comparison to this watch, wears a lot bulkier. And the reason is this is more rectangular in its build, and it's also a different design in comparison to this square box, which is just a square box. So the width of this is a lot wider than that of the Apple Watch Ultra, as you can tell. So there must be something with the weight distribution or just the overall way that this thing is designed, but it wears a lot bulkier and heftier than the Apple Watch Ultra, despite the Apple Watch Ultra technically being heavier. So that's just something that was a little unexpected. In the reality, I knew this was going to be a big watch. I knew it was going to have heft to it, but it's just the balance and weight distribution and also just the square design that adds to the heft and bulkiness. Now let's move into user experience and why I told you guys that overall my experience user-wise has been good on the Apple Watch Ultra. I alluded to a lot of those things, especially like speaking on battery life and standby time. That's something I hold high with all technical devices, is when I set you down and I'm working, I'm editing, or my activity is light because I'm in a still position and I'm just doing my grind. That battery usage versus when I'm really in need of the watch, when I'm really exercising, when I'm really doing activity, when I'm really tracking something that's necessary, that battery drain in comparison is it's a big thing, especially with phones and smartwatches. So to see the standby equal such great battery life, for me personally, battery life is absolutely subjective to the user, your settings, and your usability, your user experience, how you use this device. If you're super active, if you're hitting multiple workouts, if you're tracking your bike ride home after that workout, if you go to sleep and you sleep with the watch, you know what I mean? You're draining and pulling on that battery a lot more than someone who's maybe a little bit more casual with it. They're gonna wear it, they're gonna get their notifications, they're gonna do their phone calls on here, they're gonna extend their smartphone experience, and then they're not gonna wear it overnight. They're gonna just let it sit in standby mode and pick it up in the morning and have enough battery power to hit that second day, and then take it off that at night, put it in standby mode, and wake up that next day. But you pushing it on that third day because depending on your usage, you may not make it through that day. And there's no power share ability with this watch due to the design, due to the sensors, due to it not laying flat on the back to allow it to sit flat on a cell phone for the power share or a Galaxy device. Let's just put it that way. So things to keep in mind, but battery life is impressive. Battery life is really good on the Galaxy Watch Ultra. I'm satisfied. Now let me talk about the design outside of my gripes, outside of the bulkiness. Basically this panel, this AMOLED panel is beautiful. Now, this is another unexpected occurrence with the Galaxy Watch Ultra, which obviously once we knew that it did not have a rotating bezel, the reality is this is a full-on touch device. It's all about touch. This digital crown is not good. Digital crowns on Samsung's devices has never been good to me. pales in comparison to a physical bezel. So the reality is this is an all-touch, AMOLED panel watch. Once you get used to the fact or accept the fact that you're going to be touching this thing and doing this is not ideal, as you guys can see. Look at that. Look at that. I don't even have to cap. I can show you. Look at that. Look at that. I'm going around the edge. You guys, what is this? Give me a rotating bezel, Samsung, period. Woo. But the screen looks great. That gripe aside, the screen looks amazing. It's nice, clear, it's crisp. And if you use it with its touch, features, it's not as bad. Just don't use the digital crown. I mean, I don't even understand. And it's not even really like a real digital crown. Like, I digress. CJ, reel it in. Samsung Nice gonna pull out their swords. You know how they get. But I gotta keep it real, right? I'm supposed to keep it real, right? That's what I thought. Okay, now for those who have not experienced this size of a panel on a smartwatch, if you're not a Watch 6 Classic owner, then you may not know how great typing can be on this watch. It was hard to see it. I had it up here, but I was able to swipe type on here, and it's really good. So replying to text messages, taking calls, if you want to at this, level, if you want to be walking around like Inspector Gadget talking to your watch, because, it's inevitable that you're going to just hold it up right here and talk and be walking around like this. So you're looking like the feds, basically. But all of those day-to-day tasks that allow you to just keep your phone in your pocket and handle it here at the watch, handle well on Galaxy watches. The Galaxy Watch Ultra is no exception with Wear OS. You got a lot of app access now that Samsung and Google are partnered, so you can get into the Play Store, which has a lot of apps, especially Watchmaker, Samsung. And, getting access to those apps will help you extend your smartphone experience to your watch. A lot of apps you can handle here, and you can do, get in your Spotify and whatever other apps that are available on your watch. Audible, that's a good one. I love listening to my audiobooks. And now that the storage has doubled and increased to a proper size storage in comparison to, the competition, now you can store even more from Audible Sense onto your watch and handle everything there. Connect your new Buds 3 Pro, video live on the channel, review coming soon on these, and comparisons. You can do that with your watch, and you can set your phone aside. Also, this has LTE built into it, and I'm hearing reports of how great the LTE is as far as not overheating. A thing of the previous that has been an issue on LTE models of the past year after year. So it's good to see that Samsung has finally addressed that. This is a safe space. We can talk about the truth here, okay? It's the familiar Galaxy Watch experience that I know is just carried over into a watch that has a larger battery. It's not larger than anything that we haven't seen in the past. You know what I mean? But it's a larger battery with new technology, which 3nm chipset is also optimizing and probably what's leading to that better standby time. But it's just a better Galaxy Watch experience. It would have been even better with the rotating bezel. It would have also been even more ultra if it was actually really separating itself from just the Galaxy Watch 7. Because you can save a lot of money and go with the Galaxy Watch 7, get a lot of the same great things that make this watch great, and keep a lot of your money. Another thing I want to drop in Samsung's ear. You guys was the first ones to have the rectangular style watch. I understand on this watch you guys chose to go square. Again, you guys have done it before, but you guys probably went square because if you would have went more rectangular, which I feel the rectangular bulky watch wears better, you would have been, accused of just being an outright clone of the Apple Watch Ultra, where you're already being accused, so you might as well just go full on rectangle. You guys probably didn't go rectangular or square, panel display, because then you would have to change the UI. Keeping it circular is what makes the UI consistent throughout your Galaxy watches, which is why you needed to keep the rotating bezel, which is why you possibly could have played with, I don't know, a larger, rounder watch. I think there are bigger watches than the Galaxy Watch 6 Classic that are round that people still, wear and, take on, possibly. I don't know. Those are like those thoughts of me just trying to, offer in some things that I thought would have maybe made this watch cross over to even more Galaxy Watch users. I see a lot of people in the middle, indifferent as far as the design goes. Some people love it, some people don't. Some people hate it, some people skipped it because of the design. Some people are indifferent. I'm indifferent. I don't love it, nor do I hate it. I wish it was different in the ways that I mentioned before. But again, all in all, my user experience, which is what matters most, is good. Nice watch face, nice bright screen, great battery life and standby time. It comes down to the reality that this is an accessory. You wear this, you know what I mean? And a lot of us, we put our swag together. And if you can't put your swag together and have this fit into, the swag, and that can be a problem. Again, adding the third-party watch bands has helped this watch get a bit more swag. But the colors are kind of the throw-off for me. It not being just one solid color would have definitely taken it to that level. And I think the shape is another thing for me that just removes this from a more classy, vibe. Again, this is not the Classic. This is not the Watch 7 Classic. This is the Ultra. Agreed. But with the Apple Watch Ultra, I gotta be honest. I can take off this watch band right here, which is a more, active look, and I can add this, right? Put my passcode in, and then boom. Yes, the watch face is still like, active-ish, but the look of the watch, in my opinion, looks a lot classier. This is just me being honest. Because if I'm trying to put it on, I'm talking about like the swag, I'm finna step out, like which one do I want on my wrist? The bands are helping me be able to choose this one, but the reality is I probably, if I'm like stepping out and it's like, I'm probably gonna put this one on with this band versus this one with this band. And that's not me being biased. That's not me even picking that one just because it's Apple. That's me picking design out of the two, because these are the two that compete against each other, the design that I would prefer. So all in all, again, all positive for me from a user experience perspective. All positive from me from the battery perspective. Samsung has given us more sensors than they've ever given us to help with that accuracy issues that they had in the past. A lot of people will call them out for. They've done a lot of improvements that were necessary to give us a better Galaxy Watch experience. I just think it could have been executed better, but that's with every piece of tech. You can be as critical about everything, and you're always gonna find something that could be better, right? So the reality is, can you appreciate the Galaxy Watch Ultra for what it is and accept that? And if you can, you're in for a treat, because this watch gets the stamp of approval from me. Now that does not mean that I like the way that it looks. Just want to be clear on that.
I rise and I wake and I gotta go get it. I'm making my bed and it's straight to the digits. Nope.
Boy, that thing huge. Look at that big old watch right. Boy, what is that on your wrist, player? Look at how big. Oh Lord, yes, it's big.
Up a joke cause this is acidic, so I take a shot with the lemon and ginger. Look in the mirror like, yeah, I'm that. Look in the mirror like, I'm fitted. Looking outside like the world is all mine. Look in the mirror like, go get it. I gotta get to the scene, I gotta get to the bag now. I can't be chasing on these. They getting, they feeling and dragged down. That's why they just crash out. Stuck in the cell and this man down. Life getting gone in a flash now. Fitting in, I'ma stand out.